So that's why I would say to you, if you were wise, respect the man that is grown by God in the midst of you for your guidance. And remember that your guidance is not going to come from China. Mao Zedong is a Chinese leader for the Chinese people. He's not Japanese and he's not Korean. He was produced out of the bowels of the suffering and longing of his people to be delivered. He's their man. As the Africans today on the continent are producing their own leaders, as the Latin Americans are producing their own leaders, Black America cannot look to Latin America, to Castro. You have got to be able to produce your leadership from yourselves. Otherwise, you will never be respected by the nations of the earth, and you will leave servitude, slavery in America to become the servants of others.
Minister,
yes.
I'd like you to speak to the educational system of Islam and how it would prepare our people in the future for the type of jobs we can get into. Being in school myself, I wonder what kind of things should I be doing or can I do to benefit the nation? I understand we need knowledge to live for ourselves, live with our enemies and our friends. But beyond that, to make the nation grow, what types of subjects, what types of areas of development would you suggest that we get into?
We need good teachers, because teachers must be number one. Teachers are the shapers and molders of the mind, and out of the minds of men come the civilization of man. So a good teacher is important. Don't be a teacher just because it's offering you so much and so much money. Be a teacher because that's what you love to do. Otherwise, don't do it at all. Get into the wise study of history. Because if a man doesn't know what was, Messenger Muhammad says, he can't understand what is and can never adequately prepare for what is yet to come. History of all the studies, he says, is most attractive. And a man must study history. And he must know what history to study. You must know the history of those men and women who built governments and civilizations, because you are being challenged today to do that. You must learn language. How can you communicate your ideas effectively to the peoples of the world if you just learn Hausa or Yoruba or an African tribal language? It is good to know a tribal language. Don't misunderstand me. But if you feel that because you've learned Hausa or you've learned Yoruba or you've learned, what's Swahili, that you now are into something, and you can't communicate with your black brother who is from another tribe, who doesn't speak Hausa, he doesn't speak Yoruba, who doesn't speak Swahili, but he's been mastered by the French. So he can't communicate with you in a tribal language, but if you spoke French, you could talk with him. If you spoke Spanish, you could talk with your brothers and sisters around the rim of Central and South America. We must master, number one, the English language, because that's the language that we speak, the only language that the white man permitted us to learn, and it's the language he's tricked us in, so you've got to master that. Master Spanish so you can talk to your brothers in Central and South America. Master French so you can talk to your African brother, and then get into the African languages, get into the Far Eastern languages, because if you're going to be a nation, you're going to have to be an ambassador, and an ambassador must speak the language of the people to whom he is sent to communicate his own ideas and government policy. Now that's on one level. We need doctors. We need hospital technicians of every kind. We need people skilled in international law. Now, but that's not the base of nation building. The base of nation building starts with all of your engineering skills. So teaches Messenger Elijah Muhammad. We must be profound in mathematics, profound in physics and chemistry, and all of the branches of biology and all of the sciences. We must have a scientific background that is strong. And on that foundation, you embellish it with art, and you embellish it with culture. But if you're going to be the song and dance man and let others get into engineering, then you'll always be the flunky, the tool and the fool of other societies and civilizations. So please don't tell us that you've learned the latest African dance. Please don't tell us that you've learned how to beat the drum, because your African brother, he can beat the drum and he can do the dance, but he's learning engineering skills now because he's going to build up Africa for the Africans. What are you going to build up? You must build the black man up for the black man. That's right. Thank you, brother.
Got some other questions out there. Yes, sir.
Mr. Farrakhan, the problems of black people here in this country are the same throughout this country, and the solution has to be the same. In Africa as well, the problems, fundamentally, it's the same problem that we are dealing with here as well as in Africa, and the solutions have to be the same. Now, what channels exist between black Muslim movement here with other African liberation movements?
Now, when you say, brother, first of all, where are you from?
I'm from East Africa, Somalia.
Somalia?
Yes.
Didn't we meet before? Have I seen you someplace before?
No, we haven't met.
Never met?
Yes.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you,
Yeah.
our brother from East Africa.
Same.
Yes, you're right, brother. All of the problems of black people or dark people are similar. Our solutions will not be totally the same because of different factors that each of us face in affecting the liberation of our peoples. But what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is teaching us, that charity begins at home and then it spreads abroad. The black man in America must get himself together here and then reach his hand across the water to his black brother in Africa and link up with dark people all over the world. But I cannot help my brother in his struggle if I am not helped in my own struggle. It's like one man hanging from a tree looking at his brother hanging from a tree. And he says to his brother who is hanging, you know something? I want to help you get down. How can you help the hanging man over there until you get down off the tree yourself?
That's true.
In Somalia, you cannot help the people in Uganda. You cannot help the people in Nigeria until Somalia is brought together firmly. And then a linking up of the freedom movements in Somalia, Zimbabwe, and everywhere in Africa. So it is in America. We cannot lend but a vocal support to the liberation movement in Africa while we in America are still struggling for our liberation. But once our hands are free, you are our kith and our kin, our flesh and our blood. How can we get free and see you suffer? No. And if you are free first, how could you remain free and see your struggling brother without lending us a helping hand? So whoever gets out first, it's our duty to help the next brother.
I do, just in connection to that, definitely, I totally agree with what you are saying in the sense that, one, we have to solve the problems there at home and really pull ourselves there as well and then extend ourselves. But is there not also the need for simultaneous work as we are strengthening our forces and our efforts at home? At the same time, simultaneously reaching out, so that it becomes a process that goes hand in hand.
Certainly.
So we reach the same.
And every day, streaming in and out of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's home are great men of learning, scientists of every kind from Africa and Asia, meeting with Messenger Elijah Muhammad, exchanging views. Maybe tomorrow, in the very near future, you will hear of the Muslim movement in America trading with independent nations of Africa. Very soon. But this is the way we strengthen one another through relationships on this level, and then a trade level, and then exchanging culture views.
Thank you.
This is coming.